G. Like, nobody wants to deal with Creme's Akali.
Yeah, Creme is just a Giga Chad, and we're flying through the bans, the picks rather, super quick. OMG are going to snap up the Vi, so Aki's going to have a whole bunch of agency, especially once that level 6 comes in. Top Esports snap up the Sejuani and the Zeri, no surprises there. And then OMG as well, just immediately take up the next best AD carry in the Aphelios. Arguably, I feel like Aphelios might maybe be a slightly stronger AD carry in some slots, and Ahri will be picked up for the pairing in that mid jungle. So OMG level 6, a lot of single target threat there. We'll see what follow-up they can find, as Top Esports will also pick up QingTian's Jax to ensure that they've got a strong 2v2 up in the top side with that Sejuani.
Mate, we are flying through the draft here as Shanji's Rumble gets banned away as well. So, like you say, really solid mid-jungle 2v2 coming out from OMG. That's going to be crucial when playing against Tian and Rookie, two of the biggest names in the mid-jungle, but we're not necessarily seeing as much synergy as we would have liked. Veigar being banned away, either from Rookie or JackeyLove. We have seen that a tiny bit down in the AD carry position across the course of the split, although JackeyLove not want to play it so far.
Yeah, not want to play it so far, but JackeyLove has dipped his toes into the Ziggs pool before, so says to me that he's willing to play some of those mages in the bottom side from time to time, and Lulu as well. We know that pairing time and time again. It gets a bit boring sometimes, and OMG feel the same way. Top Esports will go towards the Jack, so just kind of stacking on some of that snapping gauge that Sejuani can bring, stack that up with the Rakan, and that can get a little bit oppressive. OMG eyeing up the Thresh, wasn't banned away because Top Esports were very concerned with those AP team fighters that Shanji is so proficient at, and they don't want to deal with any of those flankers or anything like that. So it seems like Thresh will probably come in here, or we could get a last second top over to the Renata. I think both these options make a lot of sense, right? Thresh brings a little more utility and a little more all-roundedness and pick to the composition, but I feel like with Vi and Ahri, he can sometimes get left behind, right? That's one of the things with Thresh. He's not necessarily one to catch up with pick per se, he's one to start it, right?
Yeah.
So Renata, just as a means to potentially stop some of the dive coming in, and also being a massive dissuading wave to stop Zeri potentially from moving forward as Shanji goes towards the Ksante in the top side, a matchup that we're very familiar with, and it will be rounded out by Galio on the Top Esports side.
Do you know, I was thinking it was going to be a Jace in that mid lane for the Sejuani passive and everything, but no, Galio definitely ticks the box of big CC chain. A lot of eggs in the JackeyLove basket, and QingTian getting ahead on that Jax up top side. I like the Renata, as you're saying, Ppgod, an aficionado on the Renata. He's been the biggest proponent of this champion in the entire LPL, and Shanji going with the tried and true Ksante. 70% win rate on that pick over 16 games this split. I feel like we have comfort across the board on both of our teams. And honestly, Jamada, I'm not really sure how to call this.
Early on, try and lock down mid lane priority. I think that's going to have to be a big key for OMG here. Otherwise, Top Esports could run rampant in the early stages with the amount of CC and burst damage that they do have available to them through the mid jungle. It's a bit deceptive because they're both tank champions, but we'll see how things go as we move into game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think context on that, when you think of towards the start of this split, Sejuanis were always going in and solo killing the enemy jungler. Sejuani has damage in the early game. Jayo's coming in, and you can see the stadium is packed out for this series, and rightly so. Both these teams building a reputation over the years. OMG, this squad that have been slowly but surely climbing the standings over the last few years. They've made playoffs a couple of times. They're always finishing in the first or second round. This could be the year for them, and a matchup against a team like Top Esports is the matchup to prove it.
Absolutely. Absolutely is. Take down Top Esports, you kind of establish yourself as a team that you have to be worried about in a best of 5 situation. I feel like the flexibility as well that OMG can bring from their very creative picks does make a best of 5 scenario quite scary. I mean, you saw how Top Esports opened out this draft. 3 mid lane bans, and all like, you know, pseudo off meta to a degree, targeted at Creme. So we'll see how OMG get on. Like we said, I'm expecting a lot of focus from Top Esports, potentially towards the bottom side, but also I think the setup on the top side is so solid and so consistent between Sejuani and Jax that realistically the options are wide open, and it depends on how they want to play things out. I feel like for OMG it can be a little more one-track mind, and we're kind of waiting for level 6s to come online before the proactivity can properly start. But of course, if opportunities open up for OMG, I imagine they will pounce on them as they so often do.
Absolutely. I think it's a lot of the case with OMG is in the early game, they are relatively quiet. And then, like you say, once those power spikes come online, that's when we see that coordination that I was talking about before. And it really is something beautiful to see. And honestly, it feels like, hang on, I'm going to hold that thought. Tian, oh, creative pathing to get into that mid lane brush. There is a ward in the river, but it won't have seen him. Creme thinks he's safe on this side, but he saw the ward. The ward got placed.
Oh,
that got spotted by the other ward. It's wardception.
Wow. That's rather unfortunate for Tian. I'm not going to lie. It seems like Creme is just going to be able to walk this one out. Might miss a couple of creeps in terms of XP. That'll feel bad, but it's better than dying. So
yeah, I mean, Tian's got to be walking into that lane like, how did he know?
How did he know?
There's no way that Tian realizes that ward was spotted. That is, I mean, look, I like the thought process of the gank, but unfortunate way for it to end.
Yeah, we actually see it every now and again. Maurang is someone who particularly loves that gank path. He's done it once or twice in the ADC before. Maybe
once or twice.
Once or twice, you know, once or twice. But it's something that can be kind of common, you know, that ward in the river entrance to spot out, you know, anyone kind of trying to gain information, or in this case, obviously the gank. So really, really solid. Oh, JackeyLove. Oh, no, it's not gonna happen.
JackeyLove. I mean, it is cheeky. That is extremely cheeky. Imagine if he'd got that Scuttle Crab Aki in shambles. But no, it's Aki down towards his bottom side. But Top Esports, full information off that fact. Tian, once again, hanging around those lanes, but looks like he might just go for the Scuttle Crab instead of trying to influence the top lane for now.
Yeah, seems to be the case. I am wondering how both these teams want to interact with the top lane. I feel like for Top Esports, QingTian could be a real side lane threat moving into the later stages of this game. There's only so much a Ksante can really do in terms of matching a Jax in pressure, and I feel like a lot of that kind of comes to, you know, its pinnacle sort of around level 11, item and a half. Ooh. Early stages can be pretty good here for Ksante as well, as you can see.
Yeah.
But
Shanji
beyond that,
having a whale of a time.
Yeah, he is having a whale of a time. Beyond that, though, things could get a little bit difficult. So I wonder if there will be any priority down there, as down here, really, really good trade for OMG, Abel, and Ppgod.
Yeah, good damage onto Mark there as he's rooted up trying to escape. Rookie hovering down towards that bottom side, not level 6 just yet. Now, we talked earlier, Jamada, about the level 6 mark being huge for both teams. Talk to me here. Like, how are we expecting this to play out once those ultimates are hit? Who should be the one putting their best foot forward?
So I feel like when you've got Ahri by, right, you really want to be putting that bit. Shanji? Oh, wow.
I think he's
not
okay.
take aggro from that?
Juggling beautifully.
Wow, okay. Kind of surprised, but I'm very fortunate.
From QingTian up at the top side here. Shanji could be in big trouble, but QingTian holds off for now. Counter-Strike will be available. Shanji with that knockback as well. QingTian, is he going to get dived here? Level 6 for Shanji. All out is available, but takes a tower shot and decides to back away.
Yeah, you can tell he's really, really eyeing that 1v1, but doesn't want to take the risk, right? It's not necessarily worth the flip right now. When you're winning out in pressure, you can shove in this wave, crash it, teleport back if you really need to, walk back maybe. But down here on the bottom side, it seems like OMG want to get this party started. Level 6 is available for Creme and Rookie.
Yeah,
but there's no first
available on the Aphelios as well. Abel here with a lot of damage. It's going to be a smite fight on this one. Aki gets it. Mark now dashing away as Creme looks for a charm potentially. Rookie just going to land the CC those. Creme dashes out to safety on a knife's edge there, but OMG get themselves a Drake.
Yeah, OMG walk away with that one. Bottom side 2v2 has been going the way of Abel and Ppgod for the most part, so just utilizing a good reset timer on the side of Top Esports just to sneak that one away. So good on them, and nothing gets forced on the Top Esports side as well. No level 6 available from Mark, from Tian. It's pretty early in the game. It's a 6-minute dragon, so feels good for OMG. We'll see whether or not they can find the same success at the Herald in a couple of minutes' time. Because I feel like once Tian in particular has that ultimate available, it's going to be a lot more difficult to walk away from a Galio and a Sejuani.
And you know, it's funny because when I look at OMG and Top Esports just on the scoreboard, my thought is like aggression on both sides. But actually this split, it's not necessarily always been true. Like both teams trying to play towards actual spikes, actual win conditions. So the first few minutes being this slow is not actually that surprising when you consider the compositions, but now we're breaking over that level 6 mark, even down in the bottom lane. Like, once quickness comes online, anticipate action as Abel going for JackeyLove, forces a flash, dodges the knockup from Mark as well. That was a gorgeous little all-in the bottom side from OMG.
Yeah, really, really well played by Abel. He's got the white, red and white guns, and he just pops Ghost, just runs at them, because he knows this could be, potential setup in the top side.
Oh no. Pulls him straight into Aki's Shanji with a gorgeous all-out. QingTian, it's a decent flash, but it ain't getting you out. First blood for OMG.
It's just so easy to attack anywhere on the map here for OMG, and now it seems like Top Esports want a bit of a response play here. Abel, they're up too far in the bottom side.
Are they though? No flashes available as Tian takes a chunk. Ppgod 1 HP, but Abel just going
Oh
forward.
my god!
Look at the shurikens! Abel turns it around! How do they go 1 for 1 there?
Oh my god, it's just so many years, man. Abel, he's still got the green and white, drops out of the red halfway through that team fight, and somehow Ppgod manages to walk away with his life. Abel commits to the play. It's really, really solid from the OMG bottom side, and they get the Herald whilst this is all going on. So honestly, solid sequence for OMG. Top Esports, they're just looking for a cross-map play. That's all this is. They just want to find something because they've just lost their top laner to that gank, and at first they go onto Ppgod, the flash comes out, but it's not quite enough damage. And then Abel just steps forward, he commits to the play because he feels like he's going to go down anyway, and he finds JackeyLove with all the damage. It's absurd.
And it's the fact that he's used his Severum Q, then gets to use his ult and his Q on the Calibrum as well. So the amount of Chakrams flying around him there, the damage is just insane. And that is down to Abel comboing that beautifully. So now 2 for 1. And OMG honestly kind of winning on both sides of the map. The fact they go 1 for 1 in the bottom side, and Mark was the one to get the kill on Ppgod as well. It's pretty much perfect scenario for OMG.
Yeah, it really, really is. The fact that all of the members that probably want the gold to advance the game right now are getting them. We'll see what they can do with it. I don't know if you see it in... I don't know if you see it in Vision, you know. I think it's purely a spectators thing. I hope.
Oh, okay.
I think... I know. It's a bit disappointing. It would be kind of... It would be annoying though. Imagine you're trying to get a bit of a...
I was going to say, it is disappointing for me personally in this one instance, but in the grand scheme of League of Legends, I'm glad if that's the way that it works.
Probably for the best.
Surprised me though, I'll be honest. If it did work that way.
Anything to nerf the jungle munch, I promise, right? It will do it. You know, I'm just saying. Junglers know the pain.
Oh dear. Well, we've got a Kane enjoyer, so your entire life is pain as far as I can see. Creme though, trying to clear out this way, and I feel like this mid lane has been surprisingly quiet considering his Ahri and Galio. And I don't mean in the 1v1. I mean in terms of these two getting out onto the map. You would anticipate Creme leaving a little bit more often to try and make plays with Aki, but so far, both mid laners playing it very slow and quiet.
Yeah, it seems like Rookie's not really, you know, sort of investing resources, health resources, mana to get out on the map, and it seems like Creme hasn't just found the opportunity to roam to a side lane just yet. Herald down here, will charge in, give Abel, Aki, PB got some additional gold, which will definitely feel very nice. One thing to note as well, Abel actually started culling this lane. He's got 3 more CS, I believe, until that one procs, so he's going to get another massive injection of gold on the next wave as well. So OMG bottom side state feeling pretty good. They're up actually 2,000 gold, OMG as a team.
Yeah.
And now finally, nope, not going to find anything onto Creme. It does feel like Top Esports are struggling to really find a play to force where they're coming out entirely ahead. Now Mark.
Oh, Mark, this is not where you want to be. The CC chain is there. Quickness gets him out, though, and Rookie here to save the day. Everyone locked in by Ppgod as Rookie dashes out. Health bar's low for OMG, and JackeyLove using that ultimate, jumps over the wall, but he can't quite finish the damage off. A great charm from Creme. Tian on the front line has to back away. Moonlight Vigil's wide, though. It means OMG have to leave the Drake.
Yeah, the blood was in the water here for JackeyLove as he goes over the wall of the lightning crash. It might not be fully over. Does Aki want to flip this? It seems like the answer's no. And like you said, that Moonlight Vigil going wide is crucial. If it hits for Abel, he gets a couple more chakrams, he probably feels more confident to step up, has the additional DPS sooner of hitting that many members. Top Esports get away with the dragon here.
When you look at the item inventories just before that fight as well, it's so heavily in favor of OMG. The fact that they don't win that fight it is kind of unfortunate for them in the grand scheme of this game. Like, they had a 2,000 gold advantage. Everfrost was there in the mid lane. Black Cleaver in the jungle. You'd anticipate this is a skirmish that they'd win.
Yeah, but I feel like what you're seeing at play here is just the top esports composition in terms of its defensive capabilities. So many zoning tools, right? Galio, Sejuani existing. And just generally the mobility does make it very hard to lock down anyone on the side of top esports. And as I was talking about, JackeyLove just, he can smell it. He can see a double, a triple kill maybe. This W hits almost every member of OMG, but it doesn't find anyone. That Moonlight Vigil flying wide means, again, Abel doesn't have that DPS that he's maybe looking for to step forward and potentially make a turnaround play.
Rod of Ages now picked up for Rookie. You can see the Gale Force for Abel as well. We're starting to get these mythics online across the board. Creme will grab his blue buff. And we'll see if the pace of this game starts to speed up. I feel like top esports, they do have some tools now, but with the Rod of Ages there for Rookie, you'd anticipate maybe they still want to play this one slow until perhaps the 2-item mark. I say that. Tian may be thinking of other things as he moves towards these Krugs on the bottom side. No vision here for OMG. They don't know this is happening yet. A 1v1 in the top side as well. All out from Shanji as QingTian pulled away from his tower.
Oh my god.
Flash from Shanji to follow. He wants the solo kill, but he misses the knockup. QingTian! 30 HP under the tower. Counter-strike gonna be used. Dodges away from the knockup. No minions left, but Shanji, he's pushed him away from the tower. QingTian surviving as long as he can. Wait, can he execute? No way he can execute.
Oh!
The one hop! QingTian escapes, and now on the bottom side, it's JackeyLove to get one on Abel.
I can't believe it. Oh, he got him in the head. He got him. I was about to say, there's no way QingTian gets out of that. That is purely illegal. And on the bottom side, it seems like top esports finally made their play that they've been looking for a little while. They get their kill onto Abel, so I suppose a cross-map play, which Shanji finds a solo kill and a tower in. And on the bottom side, it doesn't seem like too many things besides the kill were picked up, so not too bad for them. As in the picture-in-picture, that's just how the 1v1 finished out. QingTian couldn't run out the distance, unfortunately for himself.
And let's just take a second to look at that top lane as well. 2 deaths for QingTian, 101 with a 40 CS lead for Shanji. Yeah. Now, I know that it's not been just outright a 1v1, but 40 CS, that seems absurd.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely on the extreme end, to say the least. And we'll finally get a replay of what happened down here whilst we was watching the 1v1. Abel just kind of stepped a little bit too far forward. And he knows, right, at the end of the day, even if he flashes backwards, tries to reposition, he will get jumped on. So he just holds onto it and just tries to dish out as much damage as he can to those top esports members. The lockdown, again, very powerful on the side of top esports. And Abel is definitely going to have to watch his positioning moving forward.
So, Shanji finishing off the first tower of the game pretty much unassisted up there means that the Herald will belong to OMG here. So another Herald in their pocket. They used one in the bottom side already to get a bit of gold onto Abel. They don't need to use it on the top side, but perhaps that mid lane tower could be what they threaten to try and put a bit of pressure on Rookie and deny some map control from top esports. And there we go. You've instantly slammed in the mid lane.
Yeah, called it perfectly much. I feel like top esports is true tools of wave clear are fairly limited, so you take down this tier 1 in the mid lane. They could even look for a Glasc fight.
Looking for a play in the mid lane. Rookie diving into the fray, but he's too late. Mark just about escaping with his life, but only just. And Rookie alone versus 5. As now Creme finds the chop of JackeyLove as well. They get everything and more as OG take mid lane.
Munch, this is a slaw. This is a 5k cold lead for OMG. They get the tier 1 tower and they get the dive, the pincer from both sides on the back end of it. This is one-sided right now, and OMG are finding everything that they want.
This is a massacre, and this is bad news for top esports looking towards playoffs. We said we were coming into this series looking for confidence. We ain't seeing it from top, but from OMG, is confidence in a nutshell.
Yeah, all guns blazing here. Find the dive, they take down the tower, and immediately almost start flying through. Tian is the first one to drop, he's targeted, and Rookie gets fall-outed backwards, and after that, the repositioning can never come through for him to walk out of it. And this charm here from Creme, excellent. Isn't able to lock JackeyLove down fully, just because the shield bow is a very strong item. It gave him like a 500 shield, so just takes a step back, and off the back of that play, immediate reset, back onto the map, they'll get this dragon, because frankly, top esports cannot fight through right now.
No, they certainly cannot. Is the Drake taken by OMG? So let's just take a moment, because we've gone from 0 to 100 in this game. Shanji moving up to the top side just to defend, make sure QingTian can't take this. To 5,000 gold lead in favor of OMG. 2 Drakes in their favor as Tian apparently wants a fight here, but will be denied by Creme, who just has so much zone control at this point in the game. What is it the top esports need to be doing here, Jamada? Like, how do they get into this one? What's gone wrong so far? Because it feels like we've gone from not a lot happening to suddenly OMG dominating.
Goodness me, it's a loaded question, isn't it? I mean, I think for top esports so far, it's just been the general lack of proactivity through the mid lane, I think, has really hurt them. It's not for a lack of trying, it's just they weren't really able to find many picks. They couldn't shut down anything going on, things like this where Tian could get caught out. Very tanky though.
Already. Ahri has to flash over the wall, and the Moonlight Vigil is there. Is able, slightly wide of the caliber, means they won't find anything more. OMG just permanently looking for these picks though.
Yeah, they are. They really are. And I mean, they've got the champs for it as well. Vi, Ahri, so easy to get that initial lockdown, and the burst damage can always come through from other members of OMG. And actually, speaking of damage, that's my big concern for top esports, to be honest with you. I feel like, you know, going towards that Galio does kind of, you know, put you in a position where you are sort of relying very heavily on JackeyLove to be a large bulk of your DPS. And, you know, with QingTian falling so far behind, you're not really going to be able to rely on him for, you know, consistent backline threat for a long while. So you are very much leaning on, you know, your big bulky bodies here in this draft through Tian and through Rookie, and you're kind of hoping that JackeyLove gets to those item breakpoints and is provided space. That's about it right now for top esports. There's not many options right now.
He's trying his JackeyLove. He's got 200 CS at 19 minutes in this one, as he's desperately trying to farm up a storm, because every other lane is like 20 CS behind at least. It is looking rough across the board for top esports. And JackeyLove, he has to be the miracle worker. He has to make something happen, because OMG are taking over this one. And OMG are a team that are hungry for playoffs. They are a team that are hungry to look good, to get past that first round. The last 2 playoffs, they finished in 9th, 10th place. Like, it's not fun to hit the same result over and over. And they've pretty much stuck with their roster, with Ppgod being the big change, being the leader, stepping into this team. And it's exciting to see what can come of this one as they head towards playoffs, and looking fantastic in game number 1 of today as they head in that direction.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, they could feasibly almost make it to 6th place. I don't think it's off the cards, and that would actually put them ahead of those previous split finishes as Mark. I'm not going to be locked down. Just for confidence. Yeah.
Does manage to get out.
But, I mean, it's still, you know, a point of pressure now that OMG gets leverage, right? They're setting up vision here in the top side, trying to set up a bit of a stronghold here and ensure that top esports can't really advance into this top side jungle towards the Baron safely. And now being caught up on this rotation as well, tier 2 in mid lane will go down. Will they look for a fight? Top esports, I mean, they're so far down in gold. You're getting to a point where you just need to kind of look for a Hail Mary play, maybe, if you feel like you get outscaled. And in this case, my big concern is not only is it a lack of damage across the board for top esports, but they have to deal with Abel. But even if they do lock down Abel, it's so much to commit. You're then still looking at a very fed Ksante who deals very well.
He said Hail Mary, and here's their threat. OMG trying to escape from this one as Creme, no mana, low HP, but able to
Rookie.
the damage. Rookie's there. What a wave from Ppgod, saves his carries. Aki does go down, and JackeyLove has to chase. He has to make something happen here. They need more than just a single kill, but Ppgod, the peeling king.
Oh my goodness me, it's very close to the buzzer beater play, because if they don't find that, I think that's it. I think the game would probably be next to out of their control entirely for the remainder of it. And with Aki being the one that gets picked off, it looks like they're gonna just take this Baron, and I'm not sure how much OMG can do about it, but they're still here in the area. There's a teleport coming down, they want to stop it.
Yeah, Shanji's already here. TP out from Creme, but it's going to be too late. 2K on the Baron, all out to get the top out of the play. Tian gets it. Baron taken by top esports. Shanji back into the pit as Abel goes down. No way do they get a fight as well. This is top esports finding the Hail Mary that they needed. They prayed to the gods, and the gods have answered.
Oh, just barely. The gods were toying with them a little bit. It was so close. The play from OMG was actually very, very smart. Shanji took Tian out of the pit and Creme was approaching the Baron with a spellbook smite, it could have gone oh so wrong. But it doesn't, and now with the Baron, they get a little bit of breathing room, right? That gold lead has closed up significantly. We was looking at almost 7,000, 8,000 gold lead. Now it's 3,000. Now it's a lot more playable. You look at the inventories, you look at the items. The differences closed up a little bit across the board, but still very much ahead OMG.
This has been a game of massive swings as well as the Drake actually resets. Could be an opportunity. Oh, but I don't think Ahri can really get into the pit at this point. 2K on that dragon should be taken. Okay, Ahri does try, but has to flash out instead. Rookie goes golden on the front line. Won't be able to find anyone with his taunt here, but will be found. OMG, they want to fight of their own. Creme with the Spirit Rush, just toying with top esports, and in goes Ahri. QingTian forced to flash on the back of the play. Tian isn't out of danger just yet. Slammed against the wall by Shanji, and here's the rest of the squad to jump on in. Another pick for OMG.
Yeah, I mean, top esports, they get the dragon, but they lose quite a few members. A lot more gold just kind of handed back over to OMG, but it does stop a potential soul coming in 5 minutes later. So time buying play, and I think that's going to just be a lot of what top esports do for the next 5-10 minutes, providing OMG don't just retake control of the game like they were before that Baron takedown. A very, very interesting sequence of plays, Munch. It leaves us in a game where now top esports have a few more options, but it's about actually leveraging them, because whilst they were falling behind, it felt like they weren't really doing it too proactively, but maybe signs of life here in the last 3 minutes.
Certainly could be. And the thing is, no matter how many games they've lost, no matter what the results look like, top esports is always a team that you can believe will make something ridiculous happen. That's one thing that you can say about every single player on this roster, is that they've seen ridiculous situations before, and they will see ridiculous situations again. And we'll see if they can make that happen today. I feel like Creme as well, with the Ahri build, Nightmare is molding somewhere on the internet right now. He hates this build from Ahri, and we've seen quite a few times that OMG not quite able to finish people off.
Yeah, not on a consistent basis, but they still have the tools to do it. And I mean, they've put down the pressure on top esports for so long. I feel like this is the kind of breathing room that a team like top esports can heavily utilize, though. And like I was mentioning, you know, the items have kind of closed up in terms of completions. All of a sudden, QingTian isn't a full item down. He's just some components now. He's got Divine Thunder, he's got Black Cleaver. He can start to consider taking a 1v1 here against the Ksante. And as well, like mid lane is close up too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the great things about having that Galio as well, right? You can side lane very comfortably, even without a teleport, still be able to join the fray if anything happens towards the mid lane. I feel like top esports setting up for a 1-3-1 for a while here, because neither neutral objective up for 2.5 minutes. One thing I do want to point out, Jamada, is that they will both be up at exactly the same time, and that always feels dangerous, no matter who's playing.
Yeah, we'll see which team decides to take a bit of a gambit on those objectives, and who has control of what side of the map. And sort of going back to that point you said on that side laning, I feel like it was always kind of an option for top esports, but obviously QingTian was falling so far behind in the 1v1 that it seemed kind of unlikely. But now that he's kind of a little more on even footing, it could be something that top esports rely on. And with Rookie as well on this Galio, it always means, you know, there's a little bit of side lane coverage to be had. There's always the threat of the hero's entrance coming in, and then a response being quite swift from the rest of the top esports members. So OMG, with that in mind, just bringing multiple members down here to this bottom side for now, and just ensuring that QingTian can't find any pressure on this 1v1.
Yeah, top esports, the early game was rough, but this mid game has been somewhat of a redeeming series of play. That's not a phrase, but it's been somewhat a redemption minute or two for top esports. It's not getting any better, is it? But they've managed to hold themselves in this game, and it feels like OMG have stalled out a little bit here. They had so much momentum, it felt like they were in complete control. They lost that Baron, they lost a couple of team fights, and now suddenly you're seeing them significantly less confident on the Rift. This doesn't feel the same as it did a few minutes ago from OMG.
Yeah, tempo's definitely slowed down. It could be a good couple of things, right? They could have their confidence knocked a bit. They might just be waiting for the neutrals to spawn up again, right? And it seems like they're definitely taking their foot off the gas a bit. Abel's very close to an Infinity Edge, has to be said. He could even have it if he's looking to reset right now. So I think he's been sat on those components for a while. We'll see whether or not he actually does go back to base. But OMG, like you say, definitely a lot slower in the last couple of minutes.
It's a bit dangerous though, surely. Able resetting with 20 seconds until the Drake's up. You're right, Hexgate's in play. Perhaps that'll be enough for him to get back. The Infinity Edge that you mentioned does get locked in. Rookie clearing vision in the pit. Clearly, top esports prioritizing the Drake over the Baron here. Yeah,
they don't want to give this one over. But I do feel like, depending on the severity of the team fight and how lopsided it is, if you lose this Dragon fight, you could lose the Baron.
OMG just going for this one. Rookie turns gold and keeps himself alive. JackeyLove starts to stack up onto Shanji. Great little knock up onto Creme as Ppgod hits the whole squad. Once again, QingTian getting taken out. The same for Shanji on the top side. Top to top, Shanji almost escapes. And now Creme looks for a charm, but he's between the combos. How many Jack Creme's able? How has he even pulled that off? There's millions of them.
He's got about as many chakrams as years it took for Aphelios to be made. That's how many, Munch. And it's enough to force top esports backwards. Oh my god.
Good lord.
I couldn't quite catch in the bottom left what that big number said. Because I think there is actually a tracker. But either way, he was a Beyblade with that many. And with both top laners dead, do they feel like going towards the Baron? They've got teleport on Shanji and they know QingTian doesn't have his available. So this could be a deciding factor. Ward's there, so top esports know this is going on.
Look how fast they're doing it as well. It's already down to half as they found Tian. That's a huge pick and a flash. Forced out of the enemy Sejuani. Here comes Ppgod to try and save the play. Ahri, a great little Zhonya's to keep himself alive. Taunted by Rookie, but no follow-up from the rest of the team. And Creme keeping the rest of top esports at bay. Rookie down, and OMG desperate for this Baron.
Yeah, they want it. They really, really want it. They've got Rookie dead, and it's still a 4v5. It's a 4v5 the first time that can't connect onto Mark, but he won't die. But Tian is still in the area. Smite's on cooldown.
Shanji nearly knocking QingTian into the pit with the knockback there again on Mark and JackeyLove. They found Tian once more. No flash available this time. He tries to dive to his team, but a charm is there. And OMG might just have finally got it. The team fight going their way. JackeyLove knocked up, dives over the wall, but chased down by Creme, who doesn't have any damage. He still wins the fight though. OMG, they wipe top esports.
It's an ace and they only lose Creme. They'll get the Baron. They got the Dragon a minute and a half ago as well. It's all coming up OMG. They're not going to let the second Baron go over top esports. A bit of a slight there, but they won't be slighted again. And top esports kind of, I don't know, just kind of not in that same level of unison that OMG are. And it's something we pointed out coming into this series, talking about as you see Tian just goes in on the backside and the rest of top esports aren't quite there to follow up on anything going on. And Ahri just turns around, locks him down, and the chase can simply ensue. You can see whilst Tian's dying, Shan's just in the mix of it all in, goes forward, too tanky to die, and he keeps everybody locked in place for OMG to come through and clean up the rest of the kills.
And the charm there, absolutely crucial from Creme. He does sacrifice his own life to make those kills happen, but without him flashing over, I don't think those kills would have gone down. And now OMG, complete control of the map, you have to assume, as they start to overload this bottom side. Able there alongside the minion wave, and Tian realizes he has to sacrifice this grub. The jungle does not belong to him anymore. And onto the tier 2 go OMG. This is looking beautiful from the squad that are here to prove themselves. They're looking for 9 wins. Not only will they qualify for playoffs with this game, if they can win the series, they'll overtake top esports on the standings, but I'm speaking too soon. Able just eradicated. Ppgod down as well. Creme left to flee. It's Tian now, trying to chase on to more members of OMG. A double kill for JackeyLove as Ahri caught over the wall. The laser manages to land a tiny bit of CC. Will do a bit of blast code as QingTian is behind enemy lines. And Ahri's got nowhere to go. The counter strike is there. And they'll easily finish off another kill. This is one of those back and forth games I've seen this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like a bit of a game of catch right now. Top esports, they caught a pretty good throw. OMG, just overstep on that bottom side, just a touch, and it's enough for top esports to go forward. But that is just the strength of the composition at the end of the day. You've got Sejuani, you've got Galio, you've got Rakan. You specialize at dealing with oversteps. And Abel, I think, just felt a little bit confident because he picked up that QSS on the reset, but with no flash, it doesn't matter if you can cleanse the CC, you can't reposition safely with just a Gale Force against the amount of lockdown that Top Esports have.
How about Shanji just single-handedly defending that tower against 3 people? And he's so invincible that you just cannot dive him. Look at his items. 4 armor items right there, and then a Negatron cloak just thrown in as a cherry on top. Let's take another look at what went wrong here for OMG. So decisive from Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think the very obvious answer is Abel just stepped a bit too far forward. Just being a little bit too confident. And Top Esports, they might be, you know, down. They're not fully out. They're still awake. And they're very happy to punish plays like that, as this is just QingTian getting that full-blown chase down. And Aki, unfortunately, gets body blocked on the Q, trying to escape. And yeah, I just feel like OMG, a little bit asleep at the wheel. Felt like the game was maybe over. All right, they're so far ahead that should be very easy to force, but Top Esports again, able to pick up on that member now. 10 seconds on this Dragon. It's soul for OMG and Top Esports. They let that one go through. The team fighting's already been rough. It's just going to go from bad to worse if they let that one go over.
Yeah, and you can see Abel will not make that mistake again. He's all the way back. Away from the rest of the team. 5k on the Dragon. Tian trying to move in as Mark goes for the quickness just on the front line here, but he's one shot by the team of OMG. And yet, Top Esports are tanky, but OMG have the damage. QingTian dived the back line. He almost gets Abel by himself there. In the meantime, Shanji does get the enemy AD carry. JackeyLove down as Shanji 2v1s. OMG have rinsed Top Esports.
Rinsed? It's a bloody clean ace. No one on OMG died. And that should just be game 1. That final fight was about the back line versus the front line on both sides. And unfortunately, it's one that Top Esports do not have the facilities to win out on. And OMG are going to take game number 1 here from Top Esports and could be on their way to a very happy playoffs lock-in.
Yeah, fantastic stuff here from OMG, taking game number 1. Confident fashion throughout the game. Not flawless. Definitely some mistakes to be showed up there at Top Esports. Even if they didn't look fantastic here today so far, like clearly showing that when you make a mistake against them, they will still punish. Still very confident in those moments of punishing OMG. But at the end of the day, when you fall this far behind in the early game, I mean, what can you do? I feel like Top Esports, a lot of the issues that we're seeing, it's not necessarily about that late game. It's about getting to the late game point.
Yeah, it does feel kind of like that. It's, you know, a lot of Top Esports games, it's kind of weird because I feel like it's slightly past the true early game, because in most of their games in recency, they've not been falling behind to a crazy degree. In fact, you could argue in some points they've either been even or even ahead, but it feels like that sort of post-First Herald world of League of Legends just sucks for them right now, and they're getting run over on the map very heavily. And I think, to me, it's in this game, just credit to OMG, right? They were able to constantly find cross maps. They were constantly finding 1-for-1s in plays where, you know, it was Top Esports looking for the proactive front foot forward. And Top Esports didn't really find many gold answers to those plays. And I think that was the crucial thing that ballooned that gold lead to about a 6,000-7,000 by 20-minute mark. So to me, Top Esports, you know, it's a hard call to make because I think they've been drafting the proactive tools, but they've not necessarily been using them as consistently as they need to be.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. It feels like almost a shot calling issue on Top Esports right now, where they've obviously got the mechanics, and when the play works, it works, but it doesn't feel like they are proactively making the plays. It feels like they're responding to what OMG are doing, which is kind of funny because that has never been Top Esports style historically. But I mean, looking at the positives on the side of OMG, I feel like there are multiple players that you could give MVP candidate to. I mean, Shanji was like 1v5ing in some of these team fights. Ppgod's ultimates were absolutely insane throughout the game as well. And then obviously Aki, so much great neutral objective control, setting up a lot of these plays. Felt like even Abel, massive down. Sorry, Creme, but the other 4 in my mind are the MVP candidates.
Yeah, just, you know what? We don't like mid lane players. No, we don't like Ahri players. That's what it is. That's what it is. OMG, phenomenal game 1, right? A couple of trip ups here and there. I think that is still the quality of Top Esports, you know, to a point shining through. And look at the AD carry damage, man. It was a bit of a battle, and it just felt a little bit unfortunate. To me, this game gets so much easier if Rookie is on a damage dealer. I feel like Top Esports indexed so heavily into, you know, sort of dive CC lockdown that it got to a point where it didn't really matter unless Abel really overstepped, and he only did that once, and it wasn't really in a critical point of the game where Top Esports could take loads of things back off the map. It was a Baron siege where OMG lost the Baron and then just said, all right, I guess we'll retake control of the map and just do the dance again, and they lost the fight after that. So I feel like a little bit back to the drawing board on that front, but in terms of the gameplay side of things, OMG were still on top.
Yeah, OMG, a fantastic start to the series, a fantastic start to week 10 for this squad, and a squad that we have to remember coming into this series, we're on a 2-loss streak. But once again, I said it at the start of the broadcast, and I'll say it again, going to 3 games against EDG, a massive achievement for the team. And they lost to Weibo twice, but at the end of the day, they were relatively close games. This is an OMG that you have to fear. We're going